Welcome back to SportsZone. The Dallas Cowboys improved to 6-1 on the season, with Cooper Rush helming the boys to a win over the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday. And here to help me out and analyze the game are my two analysts, Alec Rapp, Mason Shepard. Gentlemen, always good after a Cowboys win.
Yeah? Always good.
Always
good. How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? All right, Mason, I'm going to come to you first. I know you've got the lowdown on the game for me.
You know, I'm not going to lie. I was kind of scared when, I saw Cooper Rush starting, but it was an ugly, it was a dogfight, but it was an ugly win, but it's still a win. And I think Dallas just proved once again, I've said this before, and I'll say it a million times, especially with this season, we're showing a lot of resolve, guys. Like, we're showing that we actually want to win games. We're not playing not to lose. We're going out there, we're motivated to win, and the game, it was hard to watch at points, but we pulled it through, and I'm glad that we won.
I think that touchdown we just saw, the rush to Cedric Wilson, was kind of the thing that broke it open to us and kind of gave us a little bit of belief that Cooper Rush could do this, right, Alec? Do we believe in him now?
Look, I think we need to believe in Cooper Rush. I think we went into this game. Prior to this, he had one pass for 2 yards in his career in the regular season. Going into this game, I did not expect this guy to win, but this week was the week of the backup quarterback, Trevor Siemian, winning that game against the Buccaneers, and of course Mike White taking down the Bengals, and Cooper Rush leading the Cowboys to 6-1. So we gotta believe.
We gotta believe in the backup quarterback.
We
Rush,
do.
Man.
It's rush hour.
It is.
It's rush hour.
Well, rush like
hour.
3 hours. I don't think we need it. We need him for a bit more than 1 hour.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
The UNT Mean Green football team picked up their second win in a row on the road against Southern Mississippi in a convincing 38-14 victory. Here to help me break down the game are my two analysts, Parker Smith and Sam Mangan. Gentlemen, how are we feeling today?
Feeling very good as a UNT Mean Green football fan today.
We haven't had this feeling in a while. This is kind of weird. I'm not sure what to do about it.
Back-to-back wins has me feeling some type of way today.
I'm really enjoying this feeling.
Good. Well, Sam, why don't you help us break down the game? The Dallas Cowboys put up an absolute stinker of a game against the Denver Broncos, losing in horrendous fashion. And here to help me explain where it all went wrong are my two analysts, Mason Shepard and the Jose Moreno, the two mean kings of NTTV. Gentlemen, how are we feeling?
Am I mean?
I'm not.
y'all have seen the meme. Y'all are the meme now.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not really doing that well right now, man. It was a bad weekend for me.
It was bad.
Great for me, though. UNT won. Denver won.
Oh, God.
That was great.
Well, at least one of us is having
Teddy-
it.
Yeah, at least one of us.
Teddy got his touchdown. Woohoo!
Teddy touchdowns.
Fourth most experienced team. You talked about against the last two series they have, you had your guys on your top line, two of those guys with 2 penalties, and that's something you just can't do. You're expecting more from a team with this level of experience. You got to be a little more disciplined.
Yeah. Now, I feel like that needs to start at the top. Sagan, Ben, Radulov, that top 3 line have combined for only 7 goals through the first few games and a minus 11. You can't have that from your guys that are making your big bucks, Jeremiah.
Yeah, but you know what? To be fair to at least Sagan, coming off a torn labrum and only playing 3 games last year, he's still trying to get a feel for it. So, yes, his percentage of scoring is low, too. 4 goals, 3 assists, 7 points. But, yes, I am going to say we are going to have to switch up this offensive line, bring Ben down, bring up Jason Robertson. Jason Robertson was the Rookie of the Year last year. And also we're going to try to bring up, let's bring up Alexander Radulov. We're going to send him down, actually. We're going to bring up Dennis Gurianov, who can actually help generate some points right there.
I think the biggest takeaway that I got was we're still a very undisciplined team. And I think with the penalties shooting ourselves in the foot, we weren't playing smart. Diggs making one play, making a pick, and then getting beat. It was just one of those things where it was up and down. You didn't know which way it was going to go. It went into overtime. But then Dallas, what I was proud about was Dallas hung on in the end, because usually in coaching administrations prior, we would have lost that game.
Right.
But we held on, we won the game, but we have a lot we've got to work on.
I think this was kind of a litmus test for me, kind of like a litmus test game where, it was the first time really since week 1 that we've really kind of had any kind of adversity, especially early in the game. I mean, the Giants kind of early in the game, but we cruised after that. This is the first time where we had to go all the way back down to the end of the wire, and they came out on top.
Yeah.
Which, like you said, maybe under Garrett, that doesn't happen.
No.
So I think it was okay. I think
that's a stretch.
Parker,
it's okay. Yeah.
Kind of want to talk about what Mason touched on briefly there, the duality of Diggs.
All right, so Stephon Diggs right now, if you didn't know, has 7 interceptions through 6 games. He's on pace for over 20 interceptions in a season. The NFL record is actually 14, which was set by Night Train Lane back in 1950. So if he were, I don't think anyone thinks he's going to keep this pace, but if he did, it would certainly be it'd be definitely a record-breaking season for him. And I think he's got to be the Defensive Player of the Year going into Week 7.
I would agree, but I think the problem is like Mason said, we saw that touchdown or the pick six in his previous week, which looked very similar to that pick he had against the Giants, where he kind of baited that quarterback in and made the catch, and then he bites up on a double move the very next play.
So what I'm going to say on that is he did get beat, but the safety took a terrible angle, and that it was supposed to be a gain of 25 to 30 yards, and it ended up being a 75-yard touchdown because the safety completely whipped.
So it's a problem with both. And plus, I mean, I think we kind of get lost with like being sports fans and the fanatical side of it. Just because he's doing great doesn't mean he's not going to fail sometimes.
Sure.
So that can happen.
The UNT Mean Green suffered another catastrophic loss against Conference USA opponents Marshall on Friday, dropping 49-21 and going 1-5 on the season. Here to help guide me through the chaos are my analysts, Jeremiah Russo and Jose Moreno. Gentlemen, all I can say about that was yikes.
Yeah, that was a little rough one. Not to mention, Marshall literally having the most points since like 2002, and even in the second half, that was kind of shocking. But, I mean, whatever, guys. I mean, it's just one of those games. Hopefully we can figure it out. And penalties did kill us in the end, I believe. 17 penalties, 161 yards. Their offense was already more efficient than ours, but us, literally handing them free yards doesn't help at all.
No, I believe it was 17 penalties for like 170 yards, something like that.
Yeah,
something,
it was insane.
And it was very undisciplined, weird penalties too. DeAndre Torrey, usually very level-headed, ended up with an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty as well. So overall, just not a great
Yeah,
game.
but it's understandable. I mean, you're 1-5. You lose. You're at a 42-7. I think at that point, you're just frustrated. So it's understandable. But yes, you do have to still stay in check and be like, okay, you know what? Let's just do what we can, move on to the next game.
We had one of the wildest college football weekends that I can remember. And here to help me break it down and pick their craziest games are my analysts Mason Shepard and Jeremiah Russo. Gentlemen,
Yo, it was insane. It was something. It was really something, man. It was crazy.
And I think this weekend kind of encapsulates why people love college football, because we had this happen not once, not twice, not three, but 4 times just this weekend. And you don't get that every day in the NFL. So I'm going to start off with my craziest game.
Gotcha.
And it was kind of one that some people weren't watching because of the Red River Showdown.
Yeah.
But Ole Miss versus Arkansas was a ridiculous game. It was a high-scoring game going back and forth all the way up until the fourth quarter. And then Ole Miss took the lead with 1 minute and 7 seconds left, and I thought it was over. It was a one-play bomb over the corner's head. The one thing you can't do with a minute left is get beat as a cornerback with a ball right over the top.
Yeah.
And then Arkansas got the ball back and drove down the length of the entire field and scored with no time left, and then decided to go for 2.
Because they're idiots. And it almost made me sick when they scored.
I was like, I couldn't believe it, because I was like, you obviously don't have faith. You're telling everybody you don't have faith in your defense or your offense if you don't want to go to overtime against Ole Miss. And it was just, they went for 2 and they didn't get it. And they lost.
Thankfully.
No time on the clock.
Yeah.
And so they were punished rightfully, in my opinion, for the hubris. And it was, I had one eye on this game and one eye on Texas OU, because I could not take, if I had 4 or 5 eyes, I could have used 4 or 5 TVs.
Right.
So Mason, that was mine.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Oh, God. College football fans, let me talk to you. I'm a Longhorns fan, and we played OU this past weekend. Or should I say we choked to OU this last weekend, and it was terrible. I mean, Texas, we put up 38 points in the first half, and then we only put up 10 points in the second half. We were dominant. Casey Thompson had a great game, 20 for 34, 388 yards, 5 touchdowns. But we just crumbled, and we just lost steam in the second half. I don't know whether we got comfortable, whether the OU defense was just that good on Bijan Robinson, but I won't give them that much credit. It was just so disappointing. And then when they exchanged mediocre Rattler for Caleb Williams, and Texas has always had trouble with dual threat quarterbacks, and when he came in the game and Texas's defense wasn't being a defense, it hurt me to my soul. It was terrible.
I think it's safe to say Spencer Rattler's chances of winning the Heisman are roughly equivalent
Let's
to
say
the
that
amount of
draft
TDs
stock
that he
after
threw.
that is going to
Oh,
tank
that's
a
over with.
little
Yeah,
bit.
that's
on
over
this
with.
one, but that's all right.
I believe the hype around him has died down just a
Oh,
smidgen.
just
Like
a little bit.
It should have. He's not impressive at all. I mean, look at the quarterbacks that have come through OU, and then look at Spencer Rattler. He gets rattled easily, no pun intended. He's just
That's true.
not impressive. He's
It's just one of those cases where he was just a little overhyped coming
He's
into
like
the
the
season.
bowl of oatmeal. He's like Steel Oats. If Steel
wrong
Oats
with
was a
Steel
quarterback,
Oats oatmeal?
he's Steel Oats if that was a quarterback.
This is a sports show, not a food critique show.
Now I'm hungry.
We can talk oatmeal after
And
the
you
show.
just say that 'cause
I'm
you
gonna have
hungry.
some Steel Oats oatmeal after this.
Okay, sports. Jeremiah,
All
what
right.
was your craziest?
My
game?
crazy.
So let's get real wild. Chris, who is your early day one MLB champion?
I mentioned the Blue Jays earlier. I'm going to go with the Blue Jays. I like their hitting. They got really good hitting, and they got a pretty decent lineup as well in pitching. So I want to go with Blue Jays. I think Vlad Jr.
In the
will.
state of Texas.
In the
You're
state of
gonna-
Texas.
In the state of
You're
Texas.
gonna
You're
go-
going to go with the
I
Blue
mean-
You're
Jays.
going to say
I
those
like Vlad
words with
Jr.
your mouth whole like that.
The Rangers aren't there yet.
It's okay.
If they were
I don't
there,
think
I'd say the
are.
Rangers.
No.
Jennifer,
I think
please
they'll be
bring some
good.
sanity here.
I am going to go the most easiest route.
Okay.
It's going to be the Dodgers. 110% it's going to be the Dodgers.
Yeah, I just don't like the
I know.
Dodgers.
Adding Freddie Freeman on, I mean, come on. Like, the Dodgers have it in the bag. The NL is weak. They're going to, like, skate their way through while the AL beats themselves up the entire way to the World Series.
All right. Give me a team going from the bottom to the top. I like the moves that the Minnesota
Oh my
Twins
goodness.
made during the offseason. In my opinion, they won the offseason. And I still don't think we've seen prime Correa yet. I mean, he's there, but I don't know if this man has hit his ceiling yet. This gets me really excited on top of the Sonny Gray dealing. We have got, I say we, but the Twins have got a good foundation. And really, you can't go worse than where they were last season at the bottom of the division.
No.
I think they're poised to make a run. Don't look at
They'll
me
get
like
better.
that.
No.
Don't look at me in that
They'll
tone
get
of
better.
voice. I believe. Hey, I called Abilene Christian beating Texas, and look what happened. So that's a thing that could happen.
The Twins are barely going to make it to the playoffs.
That's what we all thought about Abilene Christian.
I'm just saying.
Anyway, anybody can defend a good take, but can you defend a terrible take? That's what my two analysts here, Brandon Brunworth and Brandon Brown, are going to find out today. Gentlemen, how are we feeling today?
Couldn't be better, really.
Ready to discuss some awful takes?
Excellent. I have here the almighty bowl of takes, which today has been transformed into the bowl of terrible takes. We're going to defend some absolutely terrible takes, guys. Let's just
Dive into it.
I'm ready to get
You have
in.
to positively defend these, okay?
Okay.
Let's go with Brunworth first.
All right.
Mr. Brunworth. Michael Jordan would not win a single championship if he played in today's NBA.
I mean, I think that's easy to say. With how much tougher the competition is, Michael Jordan, he just got to play with a bunch of scrubs and just dominate the game because the talent just wasn't as good as it is right now.
I applaud you for saying that with a straight face. That was hard. That is a good start. All right, let's see if Mr. Brown here can keep
All
up with
right.
that one.
All
Because that
right.
was a terrible take, if I do say so myself. The Washington Commanders now have the best team name in the NFL.
Oh, of course. I mean, you're looking at teams like Cowboys, lame, Packers, no history. But Commanders really exudes toughness. And really, nothing screams our nation's capital such as Commanders.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. The Commanders. Hey, you guys are good at it. I need to get some more terrible takes. Y'all are making this sound believable.
I mean, we're just spitting the truth here.
It's just the
Complete
straight
truth.
All right, Brandon. Brandon, back to you. Patrick Mahomes is overrated and not worth his contract.
I mean, I think you saw that last year. He got beat all throughout the season. The dude was just show me he's overrated. Like everyone's calling him, like he's the Luka Doncic of basketball, but with the NFL. No, he did not win that Super Bowl. Not him.
That's a
He
good
did it
point.
with his team.
Yep. Tyreek Hill had to bail him out there.
It's true.
Man, we can do this all day long. I love this. This is great. All right, Mr. Brown. Davis Mills will take the Texans to the AFC Championship this year.
Well, I think Davis Mills has proven himself to be the greatest quarterback in Houston history. Houston, not just Texans. He is.
Sorry, I could.
No. Davis Mills has shown that he can really lead this explosive Texans offense and continue to prove why they will become the best team in the NFL.
And they have so much young talent around them, too,
Exactly.
right? Building blocks for days. All right, I want to do one of these. Somebody pick one.
go for it.
Brunworth, pick one. I want to get on the action here.
The MLB should have implemented a no DH rule instead of a universal DH rule.
Absolutely. Why should the pitchers be allowed somebody to hit for them? That has always bugged me. If you were a true superstar in the MLB, you would be able to hit and pitch. It's as simple as that. And to have one league be able to have a DH and the other not, I mean, that just gives the advantage to the NL if you have to play the NL at home.
Right.
So why not just take it away completely instead of giving another crutch for the MLB players to stand on?
Agreed.
Right?
Couldn't agree more.
This is just terrible, guys. I'm having a great time. Oh my gosh. Here at SportsZone, we are going to practice being our own GMs and rebuilding our teams from scratch. And me and my two analysts, Jennifer Holberg and Sebastian Nava, are ready to do so. How are we feeling today?
Great.
Doing good.
Yeah.
Good.
This is a fun segment.
Yeah.
I think so,
I like
too.
this segment out of the whole show.
So let me lay down the rules for you
Okay.
real quick. So we picked 2 offensive players and 2 defensive players from the first round only of all the drafts from 2015 to 2021 to build our team around. So 2 offense, 2 defense only, no limit other than that in the first round. So Sebastian, I'm going to come to you first. Why don't you lay it down for us?
Which would you prefer first, my offensive or defensive?
We'll go offense. Let's all just go
Offense?
Okay.
Okay, here. So, obviously, as a Steeler fan, this is gonna hurt me to say. I want Joe Shiesty.
Yeah,
Joe. I want him because
Look at ice cold
Exactly.
Joe
Yeah.
Shiesty
you want that confidence on your team. Just that man came in with a goal and he achieved it at the end of the day. You know, because I mean, like I said, as a Steeler fan, I saw the way he played against us. You know, we would rush him. You know, I think one game we had like 4 sacks on him, but he still stood there and he balled out. He had 3 touchdowns on us on less than 200 yards, so he knows how to sit there and handle the pressure. So, you know, obviously he can do good without an O-line. So I thought, let me give him an O-line to work with. So why not the 3-time All-Pro in 4 seasons, Quentin Nelson? Because, you know, we saw him in the Super Bowl running for his life against Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Who better to block him against Aaron Donald than Quentin Nelson?
Absolutely. And then I see your Steelers bias poked through on
Yeah,
your defensive side. Why
that
don't you go
is-
ahead?
See, it's not
you-
bias, it's just truth.
Okay, I'll give you TJ, but
No, see, so we're just not gonna act like Minka isn't a
Yeah.
2-time first-team All-Pro.
Be ready for mine.
Oh, okay.
So yes, obviously, you know, I have, you know, a little bit of AFC North, and then
And then Quentin Nelson.
Quentin Nelson.
No, okay, so the TJ, so I down with Joe Shiesty, down with Quentin Nelson because obviously, you know, give him a
Yeah,
give
no,
him
absolutely.
alignment so he can actually live
So he
his
doesn't
life.
like ruin another day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TJ Watt, fine with that one. Minka Fitzpatrick is only the kind of
We're
one
not
where
gonna
I'm
say
like,
meh to that.
I'm gonna
on
say
TJ Watt.
Oh, I mean, I feel like mine's better. That's
Jennifer
okay.
wants to throw down. Let's go, Jennifer.
We can go.
Throw up Jennifer's.
So
Here we go.
mine is actually a little bit different than this. I did not take Joe Shiesty. I took Josh Allen.
Okay.
I think Josh Allen's ceiling is a lot higher than Joe Burrow's is going to be. I think he also has that same confidence that Joe Burrow has. I thought really hard on an offensive tackle, but I ended up taking Jamar Chase. I wanted to give Josh Allen someone to throw to. And then I went with Myles Garrett. I'm sorry. Myles Garrett is a better option than TJ Watt. That man will literally throw down for you on the field. And I also took Minka Fitzpatrick. I think you're wrong. I think that's a great pick to take.
Y'all are both
That
wrong.
man
I'll
is
tell you
a
why.
killer safety.
Oh,
No,
this
no,
man-
no,
I
no,
don't
no. I know where
disagree.
you're going to go.
I
And
don't
he's,
disagree.
No.
See, here's the thing. You say he's a killer safety. This man is a straight killer. We saw
yes,
him. We
and
saw
that's why I
attempted
want him
murder.
on my team.
And that's why I don't want it. Okay,
I
here,
want
I'll
him
tell
on
you
my
this.
team.
Which one of them has the defensive player of the year? And which one of them got robbed of it the year before?
You know,
I'd
fair,
say
but
Myles
like,
Garrett
okay,
got robbed
let's
of
just
one.
like you just need to watch. Like Myles Garrett is an absolute monster on the field. I get TJ Watt is too. I get he is, but
Baldwin?
he's no Myles Garrett. Absolutely not.
Well, see,
That
but
is
my
who I
argument,
want on my line.
My argument is Myles Garrett isn't a TJ Watt because I've never seen.
look at
I've
that. That's
never
a
seen.
What are you
perfect
talking
stunt.
about?
Perfect stunt, forces the fumble.
Yeah.
I don't know what else you want for the man.
But see,
I
I also
wait,
like TJ
wait.
Watt just because of the fact that he's more versatile. I could put.
What do you mean more versatile?
I could
Look
put
at this
TJ Watt
man.
into coverage. I've never seen Myles Garrett try to take on a
Whatever.
tight end.
All
To be
right,
fair, if we're going
whatever.
versatility, Micah Parsons would be the man to
Yeah,
build around.
okay.
If we're going to be
Okay,
fair.
we already talked to Cowboys.
Yeah, okay. My turn.
Yeah.
Now, let's throw up mine because, Sebastian,
God.
I'm right there with you on one. Jennifer,
Yeah.
I'm right there with you
Oh
on
my
one.
God.
Yeah.
Give me
Y'all-
Joe Shiesty because this man, you want to talk about cold-blooded killer? This man's got drip. This man's got confidence. And all the way back in week 6, I picked the Bengals to go to the Super Bowl just based on Joe Burrow right there.
He really
and
did.
he did it without a offensive line. So give me Ryan Ramczyk, who is a 2-time second-team All-Pro, 1-time first-team All-Pro already, first-round pick in 2017 for the Saints. Never had any problems. Jameis Winston hurt himself. That's not his fault, I promise.
Okay.
Myles Garrett
Yeah.
on the defensive line.
110%.
No.
I get the TJ Watt. I
100%.
really do.
That's
But
just-
Myles Garrett
That's
is
the Steelers bias.
Yes, Myles Garrett is a grown man playing against young children out there when he goes out. And then my corner, Jalen Ramsey.
You're really going to take Jalen Ramsey over Mika Fitzpatrick?
I'm going to take Jalen Ramsey because he's the last great lockdown corner we've seen since probably Darrell Revis.
Jamar Chase would like to laugh at that.
Yeah, Jamar Chase is going to be a
Mike
Hall of
Evans
Famer
would like to
already,
laugh
but
at
so
that.
is Jalen Ramsey.
I mean, I get it. Jalen Ramsey was on my initial list. I just, I cut him. He had to go.
That's
Mika
fine.
Fitzpatrick. I'm
That's
sorry.
fine. Okay, how many Super Bowls has Mika Fitzpatrick won?
Jalen Ramsey has 1.
Yeah. So, but how many does Mika Fitzpatrick
Mika
have?
Fitzpatrick has only been in the league for like 4 years, if that.
So
And
Jalen
he's
Ramsey
played for
was
a
in
terrible
2016.
Steelers team and a terrible Dolphins team.
You know,
But
I
if he was
resent
that
that.
good-
No, I don't care.
No, this doesn't have to be the draft anymore.
I'm just
We're
saying.
just as loaded. You see, no, hold on. You're taking this man plays for the Browns. You're talking about terrible defenses. What has the Browns done?
I would like to say it's an interesting point that like the kind of consensus
Yeah.
best defensive player in the league this last year didn't make either of our lists, Aaron Donald. But I guess
Well,
he
'cause
was
he was drafted in
he was
2014.
not. Yeah, he
2014,
was drafted
the year
in one.
before.
Yeah.
It really just kind of shows, there's a lot of players out there where it's like, man, I would have wanted them, but maybe they came later in the draft,
Yeah.
or maybe
Yeah.
they're like, especially on the tackles.
Oh,
there's a
yeah.
lot of tackles where I'm like, man, they were drafted 2012,
That's
13,
kind
14.
of why I ended up going with a wide receiver, just because I don't get me wrong, I put Quentin Nelson was on the list. So was Rashawn Slater. I know he's only been around the league for about a year, but still like great offensive tackles. But I had to give my boy Josh someone to throw to.
Well, that'll do it here for us from NTTV. This has been the semester finale. Thank you so much for watching. A big shout out to our tech crew. We can't do without y'all. Cameras, VTR, graphic director, floor director. Thank you so much. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Watch the NFL draft tonight.